Hey everybody, and welcome back to Miss D's Pantry, and today we are making an Alfredo pasta with some crispy chicken and some other vegetables. You're going to need some asparagus. Make sure you cut it. Spinach that you washed and cut. Green bell peppers, a mixture of mini orange and red peppers. Onion, julienne, sun-dried tomatoes. Make sure they're in its own oil. An egg mixture, which I just have some seasonal to season that, and some breadcrumbs, panko to be exact. You're also going to need some chicken tenders for your protein. And I'm using this new homemade fettuccine. It has the realness of actual fresh pasta, so it's pretty good. Parmesan cheese and heavy cream. So we're going to start out with the chicken. Make sure you wash and, trim the fat and everything off your chicken. So we're just going to add some of the chicken to the egg mixture. And we're just going to coat those in the egg. Make sure it has egg all over it. And then we're going to add it to the panko. I did not season the panko, but you can if you like. You just need to be careful when you're in the store because some of the panko or breadcrumbs is actually seasoned already. So if you do too much seasoning, of course, it'll just be overkill. So you can also add a little flour to the panko if you like, or have a separate bowl of flour so you can dip it in the egg, then the flour, then the egg, and then the panko. But I really wanted that crispy crust that you get from the panko, so I opted out of the flour. So in order to make sure that I get the crust that I'm looking for, I'm going to double dip it. So I'm going to, after I finish making sure that there's panko all over the chicken, I'm going to put it back in the egg. And then I'm going to put it back into the breadcrumbs. And you need to use as much breadcrumbs as you like. So I added more to this bowl. I didn't just keep going because, as you can see, I had more chicken. And after that, you're going to want to take that chicken and put it on a plate. And make sure you separate it. That way the coating doesn't stick to each other. And then when you go to fry it, it's not going to look as great. So we're going to take a quick commercial break just to let you know that I have a blog and I post daily recipes. So follow that. Back from the break, I had that tomato oil that was in the julienne tomatoes, and I put that in the skillet along with some butter, and I'm just pan searing my chicken. You can deep fry it if you like. You can bake it, whatever you like. But that oil from the sun-dried tomatoes is really going to give this some delish flavor, and that butter, of course, is going to give it that beautiful brown that we're looking for, that golden brown and delicious. You're going to cook this on low, so I think I cooked mine for maybe 10-15 minutes or so, and then I cut them in half just so that I can have more chicken in the end. But after I took them out of the oil, I just let them sit. And I'm going to take that same pan that already had the chicken in. I'm going to put the onions in there, because we're all about building flavor. I'm going to put the peppers in there. All the peppers. And I'm going to put the asparagus in there. So the only thing that I did not add to this pan is the spinach. You want to add that last. You don't want to add that while you're cooking this. And you're going to saute the vegetables. And I actually didn't add too much oil after that because there was still some in the pan. So I'm going to saute all these vegetables together, and then I'm just going to season the vegetables with a little salt and pepper, just your preference. and then I cook the noodles and strain them. So after the vegetables are cooked, the heat is not on anymore, and I'm just adding the noodles back. And this is Alfredo sauce. Now, I've made this before, so if you check in the description box below, you can get the full recipe. I didn't do anything different, but that's what the milk and the cheese were for, and the sun-dried tomatoes are in that sauce. So I'm just checking to make sure it's nappy. And then I'm going to add the Alfredo sauce to the noodles and vegetable mixture. And I'm just adding a little bit at a time and tossing it around to make sure that the pasta is fully coated. I ended up reserving some sauce for later because if you don't know, that pasta will really soak up that sauce. So I reserved some for later. So like if you want to reheat this tomorrow for lunch or something, you have some more sauce there. But I added the spinach at the very last minute. And again, the heat is not on. So I'm not trying to fully cook the spinach. I still wanted to have a little bit of a crunch to it. And, you really want to take your time and toss that pasta and just make sure everything is incorporated. Then you're going to, when you get ready for plate up, you're going to put the chicken on last because it is crispy. So you don't want it to get wet from the sauce. Right next to the subscription button is a bell button. Make sure you click that for notifications of when I post.